This here podcast is for a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You never know, we might be talking about spirituality and wellness, relationships, whatever it is that you do to get your money, be it working somewhere, be it running your own thing, be it having a side hustle. It's all good over here. We are getting organized. We are handling our time management better, and we are having fun through it all. Because over here, it's all love, all light, and good vibes only. So, if you are interested in living, laughing, and learning, growing and glowing, drinking your water, and minding your own business, this is the perfect place for you. Hi, I'm Tiff, and welcome. Hey friend, welcome to another edition of the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. I am your girl Tiff, and I am so excited to be here with you for yet another episode of this show. I hope that you have been having an amazing day thus far, and I hope that the time that we spend together will prove to be well spent. Yeah, I had to think about that for a minute. Will prove to have been well spent, right? I think that's the better way to say it. All right, y'all forgive me. Okay, so anyway, I want to welcome you back if you are an old friend to the show, and I thank you for continuously supporting and showing up. If you are a new friend to the show, I want to welcome you. I hope that you get what you came for, and I want to introduce myself to you. All right, so my name is Tiffany Williams. I am the founder of Organized Energy Coaching and Consulting. I am the author of a line of books called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. I also am a personal and professional and leadership and business development specialist. So I teach, I train, I write about, I talk about, I coach one-on-one about all those things. The serial entrepreneur of 21 years and the certified life coach and the mommy, the nurturer in me. Just wouldn't have it any other way. It's like a ministry to me, and I love it so much. God's given me the gift to help in various ways and forms of development. So like I said, personal development, professional development, business development, leadership development, all those things. That's me. All right. So that's who I am, and that's what I do. I would love to know who you are and what it is that you do. So stop by my webpage, organizedenergy.co. Again, organizedenergy.co. And find a link to get in contact with me and introduce yourself. Let me know who you are. Let me know what you got going on. I would be super excited to meet a new friend. All right, so now that we've got all that out of the way, let's get to what we're going to talk about today. So as you all know, if you've been around for a while, we talk about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Sometimes it's business, sometimes it's personal. This time it is a little bit of both. I want to talk about networking. And I have already recorded a few episodes about networking. And this is going to just kind of go along with that particular collection. So this time we're going to be talking about the win of networking. So when I say the win of networking, what I mean by that is, and win as in WHEN, win of networking. And so I want to give you 3 points, and we're going to be out of here. 3 points. All right. So when I talk about the win of networking, point number 1, I want to talk about setting aside time weekly to find opportunities to network. Now, I'm mentioning any of this as we talk about networking. For those who wish to grow more personally and professionally, and for their business and for, their leadership development skills and all that. As we've covered in previous episodes, it is super important to network. You are not an island, and we need each other. We need other people, a part of our network, to help us get to where we're going and for us to help them get to where they need to be. We all have been gifted with a skill, with some sort of passion, some sort of purpose, and they all can work in a way that helps the other. And so it's super important to build a great network. And so, and that could be for friendship, that could be for business reasons, that could be for dating, that could be for whatever. You could have moved to a new town and you need to make some new friends, new connections as you are getting settled into your new place. And so still you would need to, if you're interested, have networking skills, right? And there are some people who just aren't that into networking, but it's not because they're opposed to it. It's because they feel like they don't know how to do it and do it efficiently. So that's what this whole little series on networking has been about, is just helping give a few tips on how to do it and do it efficiently. And I say efficiently because sometimes people go to events and they're more like a wallflower. They kind of hang around off to themselves. They watch everybody else have a good time, and then they're just kind of, they're just there. They may collect a business card or two, or not. And even if they did, they leave the event and they collect the card. It may go on their desk, it may go on their dresser, it may stay in their wallet, and then that's it. Nothing happens beyond that. And so that doesn't work. Networking only works if you work and if you work it. And so that's kind of the premise or the basis for this particular series. But again, it could be applicable in various scenarios. Again, you could be a student, you could be dating, you could be building your business, you could be trying to grow your profession, your career. Again, you could be settling in from out of town somewhere, And so now that we've kind of set the backdrop and explained why we're talking about networking, in case you missed the previous episodes. And if you did, go back and check those out. We've done who and we've done what of networking. So now we're on when. All right. So tip number 1 is to set some time aside weekly to even seek out and identify networking opportunities. So some people choose to do that on Sundays. Sunday evenings, they might, take some time to set up their week and prepare for the week. And that might include, checking online or wherever they go to find out about networking opportunities. Some of them are online. Some of those events are in person. Some of those are a combo. So we call those hybrid events. But however that looks, as far as where it takes place, the point is you have to set aside time at some point in your schedule. It might be on Sundays. It might be, and now if you're like me, I try not to work on Sundays. I try to take that as my day of rest and relaxation. As a Christian, I honor it as the Lord's Day. I know that Sabbath is on a Saturday, but the Lord's Day on Sunday. And again, and if any of y'all are a friend to the show, I'm a church girl, but I don't push anything on anyone. But just saying, for me, I try to not do any work on Sundays. But for those who don't mind to do those things on Sundays, it might be your day to set your week up, or Mondays or Saturdays or whatever day you decide to take some time to set aside and just check out the listings of upcoming events for various organizations and clubs and groups and so on and so forth. Okay, so point number 1 is to set time aside weekly to identify networking opportunities. Okay. All right. So now that you have identified the networking event and opportunities, now you have to set time aside to actually go, right? And if you did not attend an actual event, I've got 2 points for this one. If you don't find an event that suits your needs, then create an event that suits your needs, because maybe there's someone else that is looking and they've not been successful either with that, and maybe exactly what you're looking for is what they're looking for. So it's one of those, if you build it, they will come type of situation. So if you don't see what you're looking for, you might want to host an event of your own. It doesn't take much, depending on what you're looking to do. And so that might be an idea for you. But the other sub point for that is when I say set aside time for networking each week, for point number 2. And what I mean by that is, in addition to the networking events that you have decided you're going to attend based on what you found or identified in point 1, this is separate. This is, say you've been to an event and you've made some connections. You have collected the business cards, you've exchanged numbers, so on and so forth. So now it's almost like dating. Whether it's for business or pleasure, making a new friend or whatever. I mean, you can't grow a relationship if you don't spend time with people and try to get to know them, right? And so this one, as it pertains to the win, WHEN, of networking, when I say set aside time for networking each week, I mean, when do you even have time to develop those relationships? So for instance, for me, I know that Mondays and Fridays and Sundays are my days that I have time built in to just kind of relax, spend time with people that are important to me, and just kind of get in tune with God, get in tune with myself on Sundays. But, Mondays and Fridays, so Monday evenings, Mondays are Mondays, right? People have a case of the Mondays sometimes, whatever that might mean for you. But Monday evenings, or Monday mornings, I am available to develop relationships. So that is a day that I kind of build in some blocks of time so that if an acquaintance or a new contact or a friend wants to, kind of build on the relationship, have a coffee or, so on and so forth, I know for sure that Monday mornings and Monday evenings, I'm available for that. And I say that, let me go back a little bit and say, I say that because if we are identifying certain days and blocks of time, and that's what we have available. That's what we have available. So it's not that you're going to be zigzagging all over the place every day of the week, just out here networking, because I'm sure you have other things to do. So you just want to kind of take control of your schedule by saying, not just any old day, not just any old time. This is the time that I've set aside for this activity because I've got to get things done. And the reason why I say that is because in the past, I've just kind of been open and I'm like, well, what's good for you? Okay, well, that'll work for me too. Let's do it. Let's meet, let's have coffee, let's this, let's that. And I find that you have all these little holes throughout the week. Every day, it's like I'm ripping and running to get from one meeting to another, one coffee date to another, or a video or web conferencing call or a phone call. And it's very difficult to get my work done or do the other things I'm trying to do because I'm, in and out of meetings all the time. And I'm like, I can't do this. That was frustrating for me. And so I had to get some sort of structure and some kind of control over the way I spent my time. So that's why I say identify some time that you have each week for networking. So say you get that business card and someone's like, okay, let's get together. Let's chat. Let's talk. I'd love to hear more about what you have going on, so on and so forth. So for me, like I said, Monday mornings, Monday evenings, but also Fridays, because I know that after a long week of working and giving it my best, I deserve to just relax. So Fridays, I have built into my schedule to say, you know what, Fridays are going to be a day where I can just woosah, relax. Just kind of have those leisurely meetups for a coffee, for a lunch, for a brunch, or even for appetizers in the evening, or, to go get those toenails painted, or whatever it might look like for me. Fridays is one of those, this is a reward for having a great week. And you deserve to be able to just enjoy this day. So I know that Fridays are a good one for me as well. And then, like I said, on Sundays, I know that I try to rest, relax, and just enjoy loved ones. And so that's a good day to catch up with a good friend as well, And if you heard the other episodes that I recorded on networking, you'll know that one of my favorite things to do when networking with someone or building relationships is just to meet and walk. Let's walk and talk. Let's grab a lemonade or a bottle of water. Let's go to somewhere that's pretty, where there's nature and all this. And let's just walk, You get a little fitness in, you get nature in, fresh air, the sunshine in, depending on the weather. We didn't have to spend a lot of money on food and all this. And then it's kind of difficult to get to know someone over a meal if you're chewing a lot, because you can't talk, right? So this way we just get to walk and talk and enjoy, the elements outside. So I'm really big on being outside and enjoying nature. So that being said, on Sundays are typically the day that if a person's like, hey girl, let's do brunch. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's go where there's an outdoor patio for brunch, and we can absolutely do that, So those are my days. Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays is when I can make time for building those relationships. And if you'll remember, if you did listen to one of the previous episodes that I recorded on networking, I mentioned an acronym, ARTS, ARTS, as in Sam. And I did not coin that phrase or that acronym. I actually picked it up at an event that I attended, but I liked it, so I'm sharing it. So ARTS it stands for building authentic relationships that lead to trust and lead to sponsorship. That's it, right? The S is for sponsorship. So authentic relationships that establish trust and lead to sponsorship. ARTS, ARTS. And what that means is business is typically done when a relationship is present. People do business with people. They would do business with people, a person, quicker than they will with a business, because people don't want to feel like they're just another number, that the dealings that they had with someone is simply transactional. They want to feel like it's relational. They want to feel like they're doing business with a friend, somebody that they know, they like, and they trust. And so in order to do that, they have to get to know you. So then that means we are finding a way to date that new friend, that new acquaintance. And so we are building an authentic relationship, not just a transaction, that leads to, the T is trust, or that helps establish trust, because they know you, they begin to like you, they begin to trust you, and that leads to sponsorship. And the sponsorship was referring to, in a room that you're not in, but they are, and there is a need for what it is that you offer. That person that now knows you, likes you, and trusts you can speak up for you, sponsor you of sorts, and say, hey, I know someone that does that. Let me connect you to my friend Susie. Hey, I know someone that would be great at that. I think you should meet my friend so-and-so, which would be you, right? And so you want them to speak up and speak a good word on your behalf in rooms that you're not even in. And so that's what that sponsorship piece means, okay? So ARTS, authentic relationships that establish trust and lead to sponsorship. All right, so, but in order to do that, spending time with people is important. So we've got that piece. So when in your schedule could you find time on a weekly basis so that if anyone is like, hey, let's do coffee, let's do brunch, let's meet up and whatever, when do you know off the top of your head is like the time that you have kind of already earmarked out, carved out for something just like that? And so for me, I know that in addition to knowing the days that I can do that, I also know the times. Like off the top of my head, I know if if it's during the week and I have to have a meeting, like this is not like meeting up for networking, but if I have to have a meeting with someone and they're like, hey, look, can you jump on a call? We need to do this. We need to go over this or go over that. And they're like, what time's good for you? I always know that 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. are my two times. Like those are the two options. If you give me the choice of, let's meet, what time's good for you, I'm going to typically tell you 11 or 1. That's just what it is. For me, it's because I know that by 11 a.m., I've been able to move through the day and get the things that I need to get completed. Not that the whole day is done, but I've been able to move through my morning routine and get the things that are essential for me to, kind of get the morning off to a great start. By 11 a.m., those things are done. So it's not the feeling of someone wanting to have a meeting right in the middle of me trying to get something really important done. I know that all those things are done, and it's kind of like at 11 a.m., the first half of my day is over with. So it's kind of a good resting point to kind of stop and stretch my legs and take a phone call, just kind of to break away from just constantly working, trying to crank out some things. 1 p.m. is good for me because, it's kind of the top of the afternoon portion of my day. And so right before I get things started and kicked off to kind of wrap up some things and do part 2 of the day, I can take a call real quick, And so mindset wise, the energy level that I have, being able to be fresh and be present, for the meeting, as far as being able to be attentive and not be tired or looking at the clock like, oh, when is this going to be over? I know that I am fresh, I am alert, I'm okay, I'm ready to do this at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So that's just me, but you might need something different, okay? But ideally, the whole purpose of this is start thinking about it, just kind of take control of your schedule if you don't already, and just kind of identify, this is my block of time. And so to take that a step further, you should, if you don't already have a scheduling software, an app, a tool, or something where you can share a link. You can provide a link to people and say, hey, here's how you can get on my calendar. I know people are busy, and rather than us going back and forth trying to figure out when we're going to get together, here's my link, and you can find some time on my schedule and we can absolutely get together for that coffee or that chat or, whatever it is you guys are doing. So there's that as well. And then lastly, when I talk about the win of networking, I am speaking about timeline for working. I hate to use it that way because it's not transactional, and this part sounds transactional. But I'm going to, for building that relationship, for if you have a process to work a process or a pipeline for a new connection. That sounds really technical, and it does sound transactional. At the end of the day, if you are representing a brand, if you are building a business, if you are a professional and you are making these connections because, it's not because you're out here willy-nilly making connections, but because you absolutely, there is, a goal for the relationship. I hate to put it that way, but I mean, it's business to some extent. And same thing, even for dating, same thing. I mean, it's the same process. Either, look, what are we going to do here? You know what I mean? Like, are we just going round and round in circles on this? Like, let's move this needle a little bit. And so that's whether you're having a new friend, you're interested in dating someone, or this is, someone that you may be able to partner with for a business venture or opportunity within your career. Same thing. But the point is, we need to move the needle a little bit. And so that might look different depending on the purpose of your connection and your networking. But in business, there's this thing we refer to as touches. And touches in business, when we're talking about marketing, in terms of marketing, is a touch is making an impression, contact with your target market. And so that means that maybe a person that is made aware of whatever it is that you have to offer, the first time they hear about you, they may or may not need what you're offering. They may be busy, preoccupied, thinking about something else. And so it may even go over their head that you even offer what you say you offer. And so, just because they saw you on touch one doesn't mean that's going to seal the deal. So then so they say that, 10 to 14, and I've seen some studies where researchers have said 21 touches are required, impressions are required to be made before someone is like, oh, they make the connection. Oh, so-and-so does this. If I need this, I'll call so-and-so. It's like it goes over their head every time for those first 20 times. And time 21, they're like, oh, you do that. Cool. I need someone that does that. Let's talk about it. I think I might need your services, And so you can't give up just because on the first time you knock on the door, the first time they see your ad, the first time you exchange a card, that they don't respond like you want them to. It could take anywhere from 10 to 14 to 21, what we say touches, in order for them to decide that they want you, and then sometimes it just may not be a good fit. It may just simply be that what you're offering, they simply just don't find value in, don't fully understand, or don't have need for. And that's okay, because if you have made a great impression on them, they will at least keep you top of mind, so that if they come across someone that does need what you're offering, they can make that referral, and they could do that happily. So that being said, let's go back to the win of this pipeline, if you will, these touches, if you will. Then you might want to map out, what does that look like from the top to the bottom? What does it look like before you even meet them? How are you going to meet them? It's kind of, some people would call it a funnel. Some people refer to it as a customer journey. All of it's basically the same. We're mapping out the steps that we, would hope are taken, that, and that may be necessary to get a person from not even knowing that you even exist to then knowing that you exist, and then from knowing that you exist to beginning to become familiar with you, and from becoming more familiar with you to actually beginning to know you and like you and trust you and engaging with, and there's a whole little thing before you can say, we sealed the deal done. And we're still friends. Like, again, not simply transactional. We're absolutely building a relationship. But if you set out to do this for business, then, again, hate to put it that way, but if it is for business, that you've built a great friendship there, and that, whatever your all's goals were for working together, partnering together, hopefully the goal can be achieved. All right. That's always kind of, because I am a highly relational person, that part is uneasy for me to feel like, there's a process, but it is a process. I hate that because, I shouldn't say hate, that's a strong word, but that makes me uncomfortable, because I'm like, if this is not a transaction, like they are a person, they're not a number, but we have to think about it. That's even, like I said, when you think about dating or even having a new friend. I mean, still same thing. I mean, we just can't leave it at we exchange numbers. Like, are we ever going to talk? Are we ever going to go anywhere? Are we going to do anything? Are we going to have fun together? Are we going to eat or drink or break bread together? Are we going to, whatever that might look like, the things that you guys enjoy doing, for leisure or whatever. Like, where's this going? Are we just going to leave it at the fact that we exchange numbers? No, when you're dating someone, you enjoy their company. You get to know them. You want to know what makes them tick. You want to know what they enjoy. You want to be a resource for them. If you come across something that you believe they could enjoy or benefit from, you want to share that with them. You bring it to them, right? Which I've discussed in previous episodes on networking. And so it's the same thing, like, so it's not transactional. It's just that I think in terms of processes. So the way my mind thinks is I'm thinking of a process, and so in business, you have to have I don't say you have to, because there's probably somebody out there who does not have to have a process, but you want to kind of think in terms of a process. So I want you to map out, what does that look like? Step 1, they never even heard of me, Step 2, but I'm running some ads on social media, or I'm making posts, I'm creating content, and they connecting with me that way. And somehow they DM me, and now, they're on the hook, or not they're on the hook, but, whatnot. We engage in conversation from there. And then I invite them for coffee. And then we do this. And then I send a follow-up email. And then they send something else. And then we have a follow-up meeting. And then we blah, 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 and da-da-da-da, and whatever all the things are. So map it out. What does that look like? There are, and I mentioned this in the other episodes too, there are what we call client relationship management tools, CRMs, that help you. You can build that pipeline out. You can literally type in all the steps. What are all the steps that you would want to take a new contact through? What are all the ways you want to engage with them, build that relationship with them? And you put that in the CRM, and then the CRM then reminds you, hey, it's time for a coffee. Hey, it's time to send them a brochure. Okay, they've opened the brochure, so now it's time for you to have a follow-up call. Okay, it's time for you to data, and it kind of keeps you on track, so that, because different people are in different places within your pipeline. Some came in yesterday, some been in there for 2 weeks, some have been in there for 2 months, some have been there for 6 months. So everyone's probably at a different point as far as where you guys are at building this relationship out. And so a CRM helps you kind of map it out and automate it. And every time you meet a new contact, you load their information into the CRM, and then the CRM is like, okay, so-and-so is on step 2. So-and-so's on step 3. Okay, now it's on step 4. Time for you to do this. And each day you'll get like this little briefing to say who's where in the pipeline, in the process, and what action you should be taking based on where they're at. Again, everybody's going to be at a different point because you're meeting them at different points. But it's like you're working. It's like you are, I think about, someone in childcare having to change this diaper. This one needs to be fed. This one needs to be changed. This one you need to read a story to. This one needs to be coddled a little bit. This one is waiting to be bounced around. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has a different need. And so you're just kind of working everyone as need be. And so anyway, those are my 3 networking tips for win. I may have forgotten something, may didn't think about something. So if you think about something that will be an excellent addition to this list, let me know. Write in and let me know what you're thinking, and I can add that as well. And so I thank you so much for your time. I want you to stay in the know so that each time new content is available, whether it's a blog, a newsletter, a new podcast episode, an event, an opportunity to network, because I'll actually be launching some networking events as well. But opportunities to work with me and so on and so forth. If you want to stay in the know, be alerted by joining my mail list. And so you can go to organizedenergy.co/alerts. That's with an S at the end. Organizedenergy.co/alerts. ALERTS is in Sam. And you can decide which content you want to know about. And so when that is available, you can be in the know and you can be a part of my network. How about that? All right. I hope that you got something from this, and I hope that you are even excited enough to pass it along to a few people within your circle of influence that you think could benefit as well. If you'd like to work with me so that I can help you with planning, launching, or scaling your podcast, or planning and writing and publishing your own book, I'd love to help you with either one of those things. You can go to organizedenergy.co/mystory. Organizedenergy.co/mystory. I firmly believe that you have some sort of lived experience, a story that you should be able to tell and help someone else as they are on their journey. Or you have some level of expertise in something that you could also package into a book and a podcast. And it would be an honor to help you to take care of that. Let's see. What else do I want to say before I get out of here? That might be it. All right. So make sure you subscribe to this show on the podcasting streaming platform that you get it from, or if you're checking this out on YouTube, subscribe that way to the YouTube channel. and then make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are in the know as well. So again, organizedenergy.co/alerts and organizedenergy.co/my story. Oh, I didn't even tell you, but I invite you to check out the book, organizedenergy.co/shop, and you can find my books. I mentioned networking in the book and all kinds of other brand building, business building, podcast development tips in my book. Again, it's called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. This is great for anyone who is wanting to build or establish, develop a personal or professional brand. You could be a podcaster and just want to kind of make sure you've, kind of tightened it up. You could be writing a book. You could be a leader. You could be an administrator. You could be a teacher. You could be a student. You can be, someone, whatever. If you have a brand to build, a story to tell, expertise to share, then my book is for you. So again, it's Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast, and you can find it at organizedenergy.co/shop. I thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope that you have the best day ever.